Hello and welcome to my 2018 video game Steelbook collection. I'll be showing off Steelbooks from the PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, PC, some PlayStation 3 and Xbox One. No PS4 exclusive yet. So the first one is the 24 Steelbook for PS2. Relatively cheap, quite easy to get. I got it on eBay for about £5 I think. Not bad for quite an old one, quite good condition. The next one for PlayStation 2 is Area 51, a midway game, also quite good condition. I got this on eBay as well. You'll find a lot of PlayStation 2 Steelbooks are actually fairly easy to get and they're not that expensive for what they are. You know, even though they're not quite rare, they are quite old. The next PlayStation 2 Steelbook is actually fairly rare, if not just expensive. That's Final Fantasy 12. So you can see here, I had to get it from America. I don't think this came out in the UK. So a lot of Steelbooks, after you've got quite a big collection, you'll notice you have to import quite a lot. So I tend to get a lot of my Steelbooks from the US, Canada, Germany, France, and even once from Italy. The next one is Hitman Blood Money. I had to get this from Germany. It's in good condition, just a bit tatty, quite dirty. And you can see there, it's in English even though it's from Germany, which is quite odd. This was fairly expensive. I haven't seen one of these go for anything less than about £30 on eBay. This next one is Killzone for the PlayStation 2. This one, it's a German edition, you can see there, German, but I got this in the UK from a UK seller, but I know this originally came out in Germany. Quite cool, it came with the, I believe that's the soundtrack. Next one is the Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Also quite fairly difficult to get. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's rare, but it is hard to get for a good price. This is also German. See there. It's quite good because a lot of the older Steelbooks, or older games in general, came with quite thick manuals, which gives the Steelbooks quite a hefty feel to them, which is always appealing when you actually hold them. This next one is Mortal Kombat Armageddon Premium Edition. I had to import this from the US as well. See here, came with 2 discs, another midway game. I won't remove any of the discs in this video because well, there's a lot of Steelbooks, and to be honest, it's not, always worth taking the disc. The artwork isn't always that, worth it. This is Resident Evil 4. This is quite an easy PlayStation 2 Steelbook to get. I got this from, in the UK, from a store called CEX. This is fairly common to get. What isn't common is the collector's edition that came with Resident Evil 4. That's quite difficult to get, or at least it's just very expensive. Next one is really difficult to get. This is SmackDown vs. Raw 2006. You can see it's quite worn around the edges. I got this from Australia, and I was told by the seller the reason these Steelbooks have this is because of I don't know if it's genuine or not, but because of the humidity of the air there. It causes these to rot if they're not looked after properly, or to rust at least. This is really difficult to get. It took me a while to find. Yeah, and a lot of PlayStation 2 Steelbooks, you wouldn't have realised that there was actually a Steelbook edition of that game until you actually actively know to look for them, which is what makes these quite difficult to find. Also got SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. A lot of the older games will come with promotional stuff that newer games just don't really come with. And now SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. It's in quite good condition, but the spine is very different from any other Steelbook I've got. Really small font. Quite a nice interior though. This next Steelbook I got from Germany as well. Really nice looking test drive. Really shiny, really glossy. It's quite nice when older Steelbooks still look really good. Almost to the same standard that modern ones are made with. Next one is V8 Supercars 3. This is from Australia as well, as the name would probably give away. This was, well, not really expensive, it's just difficult to find, because a lot of things from Australia, because Australia doesn't, I don't think Australia has its own eBay, it just gets put on an international version, but not specific to Australia, so it's hard to find games where Steelbooks only came out in Australia, as opposed to, say, Germany, where they're really easy to find. The next one is Unreal Championship 2, the Landry Conflict. This is an Xbox original Steelbook, and I think it's the only original Steelbook to come out on the original Xbox. There is a Halo 2 and Doom 3, but they're not Steelbooks, at least not technically, because they're not. I don't think they're made by the Steelbook company. They at least don't have the Steelbook logo like these ones do, and the interior isn't like this. It's just plastic, like a standard DVD case. Next, we're looking at the Xbox 360 Steelbooks. The first one is Alone in the Dark. This came out on Steelbook edition for the PlayStation 3 and the PC as well, but I prefer to go for Xbox ones if they exist. I think it came out on the PS2 as well, but I haven't seen one, and by the time I realised that I'd already got a 360 one, and I don't get the same one, just on different consoles. The next one is Battlefield Bad Company Gold Edition. Quite easy to find in the UK. You see this in a lot of stores. Quite nice, but the interior is just so bland. That's one of the biggest gripes I have with some Steelbooks. They look so nice on the outside, but when you see a bland interior, you just think, well, there's some potential loss there for good artwork. Next one is the original Bioshock on the 360. Another easy Steelbook to get in the UK. I think anywhere, really. Good interior, though. You don't need to do much with the interior to make it, you know, pleasant. You just have to have something there. Next one is Clive Barker's Jericho. Not my favourite Steelbook, mostly because it's not in good condition. I have seen better condition ones since, but at the time I didn't know that I was going to get quite passionate about collecting Steelbooks, so the condition never really bothered me at the time. It does now, so I'm looking for a replacement. Next is Crackdown 2. This is fairly nice. I haven't played it myself. Quite a bland interior, but at least it's not silver or grey. If anybody wants to know where I got these Steelbooks from, just let me know and I'll reply, because you know, I know how annoying it is when you find a Steelbook you really want on a video, but then you don't know where to get it from. So obviously this is Dead Rising. Not necessarily easy to find, but it is cheap. Next one is Frontline's Fuel of War. It's a fairly nice one. Really, not easy to find, but it is cheap. There's a lot of Steelbooks are either easy to find or hard to find, or cheap or expensive. There's never just a common one, really. It's because it came two discs, it came with the soundtrack. Next one is Gears of War 3. Quite strange for a fairly modern Steelbook to come with the Xbox 360 banner, and it is quite odd because it also comes with the banner on the spine, which stands out compared to the rest. It's quite a nice Steelbook though. I know there's an edition where there's no banner, but I haven't found one yet. Just a standard manual as well. Next one is Narnia, Prince Caspian. Easy to find, fairly cheap. Didn't come with a manual, unfortunately. Now this is a very difficult one. The original Saints Row Steelbook. Now, as far as I'm aware, this only came out in France, hence all the French writing on the back. And it took me a long time to find it, until I suddenly realised, well, hold on, there's a French eBay, why don't I check on that? And then suddenly there was loads of these. But then another time when I checked, there was none, so it is quite hit and miss, but this is a really nice Steelbook. I already had the game, so I just took the French disc out and put my UK one in. Very nice Steelbook. Another difficult one to get in the UK is Ultimate Sith Edition, Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Very difficult to get in the UK, as you can see, imported. I got this one from Canada, I think. It's a great game, so I was desperate to get the Steelbook for it. It came with the game, the DLC, and the collector's card manual. I've never cared too much about the cards themselves. I don't even think the card's in here. No, it's not. That's fine. I don't ever collect metal packs or future packs or anything like that because while they can look nice, they just feel really flimsy compared to Steelbooks. This is John Woo Presents Stranglehold Collector's Edition. Fairly easy to get. It's not in the best condition though, you can see all the scratches on the side. And that's a problem with a lot of glossy Steelbooks. Glossy ones show a lot of fingerprints and scratches really easily, but they stand up because they're shiny. So it's good and bad there. Whereas matte Steelbooks, you know, feel quite nasty, but they look really good as well. You can see it came with 2 discs, which is good. The next one with the Xbox 360 banner is Turok. Quite a nice one. Really cheap as well. Unless I state otherwise, all these are from the UK. So unless I say it's from Canada or France or wherever, it's from the UK. Now the next 2 are PC Steelbooks. These are ones that are PC games, but they have the PC or CD banner here. So I keep them together. This is Galactic Civilizations. I'm not a PC player, so I don't know the game. Quite nice. It came with 2 discs, and it came with a really big manual, really thick. Can't even pull it out. Quite nice, really cheap. The good thing about PC Steelbooks is they're extremely cheap, usually. Another PC Steelbook is Titan Quest. Quite nice. I like gold Steelbooks because they stand up, even though it's a matte design. It's quite nice. Now we're going to touch briefly on the PlayStation 3 Steelbooks I have. I don't have many because I'm mostly an Xbox player myself, but I do have a few that are exclusive to PlayStation 3, such as Call of Duty World at War. This is actually my favourite Call of Duty. So even though I'm an Xbox player, I was desperate to get this. It's hard to find one in good condition. As you can see, the corners are quite roughed up. And a plain interior as well, but you know, you can't always win. Next one's quite a recent edition. That's Mortal Kombat vs DC Universe. Really good condition, apart from the residue of a sticker. Beautiful spine as well. Came with chocker in the manual area. It's got a poster that came with it. Very nice Steelbook. The next one is an Uncharted, but I'm not sure which one it is. I'm sure loads of you do know, but I've never played it, so I wouldn't. This is Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. I like it, but it has nothing on the spine, which is really annoying. I mean, at least it has some design, but it has no name, which is really annoying, because I have them all on display in a DVD rack, which is annoying when they have nothing on the spine, because then you can't see what it is. And the next PlayStation 3 Steelbook, and my last one, is Killzone 3. Not a very nice looking design. I don't like black Steelbooks because they look really plain and kind of lazy. This one's not in very good condition either. But it was the first PlayStation 3 Steelbook I got. So these next ones are my G1 Steelbooks. I don't like G2. I prefer G1 because they feel bulkier and more resilient to damage. So G1 is where the bulk of my Steelbook collection is. And the first one, because it's all in alphabetical order, is 007. I'm not sure which one this is. This is Quantum of Solace. Quite nice. If it's in good condition, it's quite nice. This is quite old and tatty. It's quite nice though. And the next one is an example of how matte Steelbook can be really nice. That is Aliens vs Predator. This was the second Steelbook I ever got, actually. Very nice. The next one's fairly difficult to get. I've never seen it sold in the UK. I got this from Canada, Assassin's Creed Anthology. I think it goes up to Assassin's Creed 3. Yes, it does. That's just every Assassin's Creed up until 3. Really difficult to get. But sometimes you'll find sellers that don't jack up the price just because it's a Steelbook, and they'll sell it for a decent price, and that's when I got mine. The next one's a PC game, but it's just G1 and there's no PC band on it apart from at the top, not on the side. That's the original Assassin's Creed. Fairly nice. For an old Steelbook, it's quite nice. Interior is okay, I suppose. It is an old one anyway. The next one I got from Italy, and that is Assassin's Creed Revelations. Quite nice, just different really. It's a PS3 edition. I've already got the game itself, but the Steelbook only came out on PlayStation 3, but it was G1 size, which is strange, or different anyway. So yeah, I just got the PS3 version. I already had it on 360, I just needed the Steelbook. But I haven't put the disc in there yet. The next one is Assassin's Creed 3. Here we are. It's got one dent in the top there. I think it's very nice. I know that the design of this Steelbook, the artwork anyway, was done by quite a celebrated comic book artist actually. I don't know his name. Quite nice. It's always nice when they come with 2 discs. It makes it feel like it's actually a special edition rather than just a different case. Next one is the Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. This is the limited edition Steelbook. I haven't got the collector's edition yet. But to be honest, they don't look very different anyway. So there's no rush. I played on the interior. Now the next 4 Steelbooks are all the same game, but they're all different designs. And they're Arkham City. They're all slightly different on the back. They all have different villains on the back, depending on which one you have. So this is obviously the Joker edition. I won't bother showing you the interior of the others because, as far as I'm aware, they're all the same blank in the interior. It's all about the exterior on the rear, which is a slight difference between them. So that was Joker. This one's Catwoman. The next one is the Penguin. And the next one is the hardest one that I found. This is Two-Face, and it's the hardest one because it's quite difficult to find in G1 size. And even when you do, it's always extremely expensive. I got this for about £15, which is very reasonable. But everyone else was selling it for about £50, or you'd have to import it, which would jack up the price that much anyway. And you know, as much as I like collecting them, I won't spend obscene amounts of money to get a Steelbook that is readily available. I'll just wait until someone sells it for an appropriate price. The next one I got from Greece, that is Battlefield 3. I think this is a promotional Steelbook. I don't think it came out with a special edition. I think it's just a promotional one. Quite a nice interior and exterior. I haven't put the game in it because I've got the game in the other Battlefield 3 Steelbook that I'm about to show you. Very plain, very boring. Like I said, I don't like black Steelbooks because they're really lazy. I mean, I think the interior here could have made a great exterior design. I think this is just, I mean, there's nothing there. This could be anything. The next one is pretty much the same, but slightly better at least. It's Battlefield 4. You can see it's got some colour on it, some attention to detail, or at least some attempt. At least it came with 2 discs. It came with a 3rd disc slot, but I don't know what that was for because I don't know of any 3rd disc. It's not exactly well known that Battlefield 4 was famous for its soundtrack. Next one is Bioshock Infinite. I got this from Germany, I believe. There is another version. It was a Future Shop exclusive from Canada. Extremely difficult to get though, and I haven't seen it for anything less than about 100 Canadian dollars, and I refuse to pay that much for a Steelbook, no matter how rare it is. Very nice interior. The next one's also pretty difficult to get, in the UK anyway. It's Borderlands 2. And it was so difficult to get that I got it even though it was slightly damaged. So you can see here, slightly, the top bit won't close properly. But it doesn't have any difficulty fitting in my DVD rack, so I don't mind. And it is quite a nice Steelbook if you ignore the damage. Next one is Brothers in Arms, Hell's Highway. This is very nice. One thing I've noticed is that Ubisoft tend to have games that have very good Steelbooks. I don't know if that's a coincidence or if that's just luck, but I think God, some of them are really, really nice. Really great design, good colour as well. For an old Steelbook, that's so good. The next one isn't necessarily hard to get, but it is expensive, depending on where you get it from or how you get it. That's the Call of Duty Modern Warfare Collection Steelbook. Now there's about 3 different versions of this you get. You can get a Jumbo Edition, which I don't like because I don't like Jumbo Editions. And there's a edition of this but without all the smoke on it. And I think it's just called Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Or Call of Duty, I think it's just called Call of Duty on its own. And that has space for, I don't know, like 7 Call of Duties. The interior is obviously really plain because this is a promotional Steelbook, I believe. The next one is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Not hard to get, it's just the edition it came with is quite difficult to get. So whether that's the hardened edition or the prestige edition. Because they came with quite good gizmos, or art books anyway, and so they're quite valuable. This is quite a nice Steelbook. Shame about the disc though. Still the same colour as the original plastic edition. Next one is Call of Duty Black Ops. Again, not hard to find. I don't think any Call of Duty Steelbook's hard to find, to be honest, unless they're promotional. There is a Black Ops Steelbook that came out in the Netherlands, I believe, but it's not really, I mean, it is a Steelbook, but it's not got artwork print on it like this one does. It's got artwork stuck on it with a sticker, also known as a sticker book, and I think they're quite horrible, because they're just Steelbooks with a sticker on it, so you could just peel it off and it could be anything. Well, I haven't seen it for anything cheaper than 60 euros, and for a sticker book, I'll never pay that much money. Next one is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Also easy to get, no surprise. Not a bad design, but it's probably the least ambitious of all the ones I've seen for Call of Duty. Again, Call of Duty, but Black Ops 2. This is quite nice. I think the Black Ops 3 Steelbook is much nicer. I mean, I don't have the Black Ops 3 one, but from what I've seen, it looks nicer. Standard interior, apart from the design. And my last Call of Duty is Call of Duty Ghosts. I know the game didn't do very well, but the Steelbook is actually really nice, really attention grabbing. You know, colour is everything when it comes to a good Steelbook. You know, it's not necessarily just about making it edgy with smoke and stuff, but having a good bold colour makes it stand out from any other normal game case. This other one is quite rare actually, and also expensive, which is Crysis 2 Nano Edition. I got this in the UK for £20. I've never seen it sold anywhere else though. I think you can get it on eBay, but not for a good price. I got this for £20 from a store, and it wasn't even a gaming store, it was just an electronics store. Next one is Devil May Cry 4. This is an example of why I don't like glossy steelbooks, especially black glossy steelbooks. because damage and fingerprints just stand out like the plague. You see all the dents on there, they really shine because the light bounces around in the dent. You see all the scuffs as well, they're just so easy to see. Interior is alright, I suppose. At least it's got some colour on it. This next one I got from Germany. This is Dishonored. The Master Sons? Yes. Something. The Mask. The something. I don't know. The Mask of something. I don't know. My German isn't that good anymore. So it came on its own because I believe it was promotional steelbook, but I already had the game of the Game of the Year edition anyway, and just put the disc and the manual in here. Got rid of the original case because I don't like when steelbooks don't have anything in them, because then they're just cases on their own. But at least if you put stuff in there, they feel like, you know, like some sort of special edition. This next one is a PlayStation 2 steelbook. It's Driver Parallel Lines. And it's in my G1 collection because, like I said earlier, unless it's got the banner on it, I keep it separate from the PS2 or the 360 steelbooks. It's quite nice actually for an old one. Came with a manual and obviously soundtrack. Very nice. This next one is my favourite steelbook. It probably won't be a favourite to anybody else, but it is to me. That's Tom Clancy's End War. That's purely because I love the game, but the design is just so good. It's the original design from the plastic case, but there's something about putting it on this on the steelbook which just makes it look so much nicer. Very nice. And this came with the standard stuff a lot of Ubisoft games came with, which is you know, some sort of manual help thing, and it also came with like the 10-year anniversary thing, where it just tells you what games that Tom Clancy's have done. Yeah, that's it. This next one was the first steelbook I ever got, and that was Far Cry 2. Never played the game because I've heard it's terrible and I'm just not really interested in it, to be honest. But I just think it looks incredible, so much detail. I like how it's really glossy on the back, but really sort of, not really matte, but it has a look of matte. And the name title is embossed, which I really like. So I like it's got a bit of everything. It's got embossed, it's got some matte detail, and it's glossy on the back. I prefer gloss on the back than on the front. I know the special edition of this game came with a t-shirt and map. I've got the map, but I've never found the t-shirt for a good price, and it's in size large anyway, and I'm a medium, so there's no point. Now the next two are both Far Cry 3, but they're from different countries because no steelbook came out for Far Cry 3 in the UK. I can't remember which one's which. I believe this one is Canada, Far Cry 3. I may have it the wrong way around. But if you're in the UK, at least know that you're not going to find this in the UK. Unless a UK seller sells it. I really like this one. I think I like this one more than the other one. But the other one is also really good. And that is this one. Now it came not upside down, but you see the spine there, but then it's like that. That's quite odd. I really like this, but I think what lets it down is that it's the same design on both sides, which I think is what gives the other one the win for me. This one came from Germany, I think. Germany or Canada's, one way or the other. Cool, so the next steelbook is Fear 3. This came in the collector's edition. It came with a small statue in a comic book. It's quite good because it was actually really cheap for a brand new version, about £10 or £15. Next steelbook is FIFA 13, which I really like because, you know, sports games don't really do it for me, and usually their steelbooks are quite plain. But for 13 it's quite nice, quite colourful. Next one is FIFA 14. I don't like this one, it's quite plain, but as you can see, on the interior, plain, even plainer. That's something a lot of sports games do, I think. The next steelbook is Final Fantasy 13-2. I mean, it is nice, but I don't really like this kind of design. It's very anime kind of look, which isn't really my thing. But I know these guys are steelbooks, and specifically anime steelbooks do go for a lot. You know, die-hard fan base and all that. The next one is Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns. I don't know the actual difference between the different versions of Final Fantasy. I mean, apart from the story-wise, because I've never actually played the game, so I don't really know what the difference between this and the last game is. But it's quite nice, just not really my cup of tea. Okay, the next one is another sports game, well, technically I suppose. That's Forza Motorsport 4. This is actually probably one of the most ambitious steelbooks they've got, and before you get surprised or confused, because all the other steelbooks I've seen for Forza are just, well, like this interior, just black. Like I said, I don't like black steelbooks because they're just plain and horrible. I mean, this is quite plain, but at least it's got some red on it and some shininess. But the other Forza ones I've seen are just too bland, you know, black and matte. The next one is Gears of War 2. This came in the limited edition, I think. I think you could have got this with the Epic edition as well. It's not that hard to find. It's definitely not expensive. On its own, it probably is, but if you just get it in the store with the game, it's actually cheaper. Next one is GTA 5. It's quite nice, even if it is matte. I like the interior, the whole money design, that's pretty cool. Next one is Halo 4. I've got two Halo 4 steelbooks. One's promotional, and this is the edition that came with the limited edition or collector's edition, whichever one it was. I personally don't like it. It's really, really plain. I think the interior is actually better looking if that was the exterior. But then again, I've seen other people praise the exterior. It's quite dirty as well. I've seen other people praise the exterior, which surprises me, but each to their own, I suppose. Next one is the promotional Halo 4 steelbook. It's quite. This is really cheap as well. I got it for £5 on eBay. I think it looks really good. But plain interior. Promotional steelbooks always seem to have a really plain interior, which I don't really understand. Because if they only did promotional ones and no actual steelbooks, then you'd put your game in there, wouldn't you? Next one is really good, and that's Halo Wars. Very, very good. This came with all the. It came with some sort of profile cards of a lot of the characters in the game. I'm not going to get them out because it's quite a lot. Now, the next one isn't officially a video game, it's just a DVD game. But I've put it with the collection just because it is a game. It's quite a silly one. It's Little Britain, the game. And I didn't even know they did a steelbook for, you know, DVD games. But it's unique, to say the least. A bit like the show. I'd like it because it stands out. But it is definitely not a video game, it's a DVD game. The next one is a PC steelbook. That is The Lord of the Rings Online, Shadow of Angmar. This was really cheap. This is really good condition, and it only cost me £2.50 on eBay. Really good. Massive manual as well. Like you can hear the weight in that. The next one is also a Lord of the Rings game. That is Lord of the Rings War in the North. It's actually the last steelbook I got, as in the last one I bought. It's quite nice, I think. It feels a bit flimsy though. I think there's nothing in there pretty much, apart from a really small manual disc and also a very plain interior. Next one's quite nice, and that is Injustice: Gods Among Us. Really nice, really nice. This is how you do gloss right. You use loads of colour. Don't do gloss and black, don't do matte and black. But plain interior again lets itself down. Next one's a PC game. This is Maelstrom. It's a Codemasters game. Really nice, you know, for a PC game. Massive manual as well. I think it's quite nice. Next one is Mafia 2. I got this with the collector's edition, so it came with the soundtrack and the art book. I like that it's got two, you know, good images on both sides. came with the soundtrack as well, as you can see. Nice sort of vinyl cover. Next one is, I think, one of 3 different Mass Effect 3 Steelbooks. I've only got this one, but I think there's like 3 different versions of the Mass Effect 3 Steelbook. I think it's alright. I haven't got the other ones to compare it to though, so I don't really know how good it is in comparison. Next one is Medal of Honor Warfighter Limited Edition. This was the last Medal of Honor game to come out at the time of this video anyway. I actually thought it was quite a decent game. Not great, but you know, decent, not bad. Next one is Mortal Kombat. This is quite nice. This was hard to get. It's really expensive. Quite a plain interior, but at least it's embossed. That's something different about it. Really nice though. The next one is The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Now, it doesn't come with anything on the spine, which is extremely frustrating, but I actually think it quite looks good. For quite a plain steelbook, it looks really nice. It came with 3 discs. I mean, when I got it, the steelbook came on its own. I got this from the United States. I already had the collector's edition that you can get in the UK, so I just put my disc and manual in there. But you can see where it's different. So this, when this came out, 360 had this banner. But then when the collector's edition came out, the original one had this banner, so you can see the obvious difference. The next one is Lost Planet Extreme Condition, and this is what I meant by sticker book. So this is a steelbook. Yeah, where is it? So as you can see, there's a steelbook logo there if you can see it. So it is a steelbook, but it is a sticker book as well. So this here, on the interior, I think you can peel that off, or maybe you can't. But this is what a lot of early steelbooks look like. And this is what I meant about that Black Ops 2 one, or no, the original Black Ops one. In the Netherlands, it was basically this, but instead of this, it was a Black Ops version. I thought, there's no way I'm going to pay that much money for what is essentially a plain steelbook with, you know, a small poster in there. But this came with the art book as well, a really thick art book. The next one is Prince of Persia. Which for an old game, this is really nice. You can see it's got some gloss here, you know, contrasting with the matte design. I think that's really good, especially the spine. I'm so glad they went with this design rather than, you know, that, because that looks quite naff, in my opinion. Next one is another Ubisoft steelbook, another really nice one, which is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas 2. This is quite easy to get, and the ones I've seen are always in good condition. This is what I meant, a lot of Ubisoft games came with this. 10-year anniversary of gaming. That's nice, it came with the bonus CD. The next one is Resident Evil 5. There was another steelbook that came out of Resident Evil 5 actually. It's called The Making of Resident Evil 5. But it's extremely difficult to get. And bloody expensive as well. So I got 2 manuals for it. It came with 2 manuals. I mean, it was a pre-owned game. I don't know what this disc was supposed to be. Probably a soundtrack or a bonus disc. But it came with 2 manuals. One for the gold edition of the game, which is probably this edition, and one for the, what I imagine is the original version. I don't know. And the next one is Resident Evil 6. Slightly better, I think, even if it's a bit, you know, plain with just white and black. So I think that would have been a nicer design, to be honest. Quite nice though. This next one I don't think many people have seen, and that's a sports one. Rugby Challenge 2. The Lions Tour Edition. I never heard of the game until I saw the steelbook on a list. But it's got quite a few scratches on it, which I don't like. But like I said, you know, it's gloss. They always show. And try to get it open, and it's not even a plain interior, surprisingly. I mean, it kind of is, but it's not. Because it's got the what does that say? True Blue Games. I actually think it looks really nice. It's just because it's glossy, it looks aged really quickly. This next one was extremely difficult to find, and it's the only time I've ever seen it in G1, and that is Saints Row 2. And because I've only ever seen it once, I bought the first version I could find. It's quite tatty, but honestly, it was so difficult to find. I just didn't really care as long as you could read it. I think I got this one from Germany, but all the times I looked for this Steelbook in France and Germany and Canada, I could never find it apart from G2 versions. And like I said, I don't like G2 versions. I'll always try and get G1 if it exists. And the next one is Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim. This one I got from Australia. It's embossed on the edges and on here. I think it looks really nice. Yeah, I don't know if you can get this in the UK, but I got this from someone in Australia on eBay. But quite a lot of money. Next one is a PS2 Steelbook. That's SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 featuring ECW. This is quite nice, you know, for an old game. Next one is Soul Calibur 4. I don't know if there's 2 editions of this game, but I'm certain there's like an orange version, or maybe that's just bad lighting that I've seen in a picture. But this is obviously blue, but I swear there's an orange version. Maybe I'm mistaken. It's quite nice. I've never played it, to be honest. Next one is Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Blacklist. Quite nice. It's not as nice as other Ubisoft ones like End War or Rainbow Six, but I do like it. Strange that it came with a third disc, because I don't think there was an actual third disc. Next one is Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Conviction. It's alright, I suppose. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not great. That's alright. So obviously it came with soundtrack, another vinyl sort of cover, like Mafia 2. Next one, Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 2. Now I think this is quite nice. It's not the best game, but surprisingly quite nice. And in the special edition of this, it came with a USB, but in the form of some small sort of, was it like an amiibo? Something that looked like an amiibo, but for a USB. I don't know why it came with a Star Wars game, but it was Star Wars themed apparently. But I only got the Steelbook, I never got the collector's edition. Next one is Star Wars: The Old Republic, PC game. This only came out in France, as you can see here. It didn't come with the game, unfortunately, and I don't have the game already, so unfortunately it's empty. But I do think it's quite a nice Steelbook, and this is actually quite difficult to find as well, because I couldn't find it on its own. I could only find the one that came with the collector's edition, which came with the Darth Malgus statue, and that's really expensive, and I'm not really interested in statues. Next one is Trials Evolution Gold Edition. This is a bit like the Far Cry 3 Steelbook, where the spine's like that, but it's upside down. I think it looks really good though. And this was £5 as well. It didn't come with the game, unfortunately. But for what it is, I think it's really nice. Next one is Wolfenstein: The New Order. This is a really nice Steelbook. It's quite plain, but it is really nice. It's got one dent on it here, if you can see that. And that's from when I took it out of the packaging, I dropped it. And trust me, I feel stupid about that. But when you open it up and you put all 4 discs in, I think it looks really good. Really cool. Next one is Xenoblade Chronicles X. This is a fairly new one for me. This only came out on the Wii U, or the Wii, whichever one it was. The Wii U. So to find this was quite, well, I wouldn't say difficult because I wasn't actually looking for it. But to find it was quite lucky, quite, you know, happenstance. Really nice Steelbook. I think it came with, I got the collector's edition, so it came with the art book as well. Really nice though. Now these next Steelbooks, they are G1, but I've saved them for last because they don't have anything on the spine, which is a massive gripe with me. So I always separate them from my other G1s and put them, you know, on their own. So the first G1 with no name on it is Godfather for PlayStation 2. This is almost as plain as you can get. So extremely plain matte finish here. Nothing on the spine. And then this detail here. I think all the detail they had on the game was left on the slipcover. But that's pointless when you have a DVD rack. The interior is quite good though. It came with a bonus disc. And at least some artwork on the inside. And the next one is Scarface, The World Is Yours. And this is also extremely plain. This is an example of old steelbooks that are bad, but they're just good to have because they're so old. So they are quite valuable at least, even if they're not expensive. I mean, this is almost as plain as you can get. If it wasn't for that bonus DVD, I don't know if you could even call this, you know, a special edition of anything. Next one is Prince of Persia. I think this is the Sands of Time one. Oh no, Forgotten Sands. I mean, Sands of Time. I don't know what game that's from. But at least it came with lithographs and also, you know, the manual and a bonus DVD. You know, so this is actually quite a nice steelbook, but they've ruined it by putting nothing on the spine. That ruins a steelbook more than anything, in my opinion. Nothing on the spine. And the next one is Dead Rising 2. This is the Zombrex steelbook. In the UK, this steelbook had nothing on the spine. But I think if you got it, the Canadian edition or the American edition, whichever one it was, it did have something on the spine. So that quite, you know, that sucks quite a lot. But at least you got a bonus disc. And I think if you got the collector's edition, it came with a pen syringe, which I wouldn't mind because that's quite cool, but I just got the steelbook of its own. And my last G1 steelbook is Gears of War Judgment. Extremely nice steelbook. Ruined, but still looks incredible. Interior is really nice as well, even if it is just one disc. So that's all my G1 steelbooks. All that's left is my G2 steelbooks, which I'll grab now. So these are my G2 steelbooks. I don't have very many of them because, like I say, I prefer G1 if they exist. But obviously now that Xbox One, PS4 are the main consoles, all steelbooks that are released with them are usually G2. And so over time, I'll also get more G2, but for now, I've only got quite a few. So the first is the 20th anniversary of the PlayStation 1 steelbook. This was promotional. It obviously didn't come with a game. But I don't think you can even put a disc in there, can you? No, you can't. So yeah, it was purely promotional. Quite nice though. Next one is Agents of Mayhem. This is really, really cool. I mean, if they designed Saints Row steelbooks like that, that would have been really, really cool. I know that they did a Saints Row 3 sticker book steelbook, but it just looks naff, so I don't want it. Came on PS4, but with Xbox One stuff. Well, I don't even know what to say to that. That's not the first time me seeing that, by the way. Next one is Alien Isolation. Now, this came out in G1 size, but I didn't think it did until after I bought this. So by then I'd already got the G2. So I still don't even know if I saw the G1, would I get it? I think I probably would, and give this to my brother, who prefers G2. This is Alien Isolation. Quite a plain interior though, but it's still cool. Just too bad it's G2. Now the next one is the one of 3 known designs by me of the Battlefield 1 steelbook. This is the one you get for special pre-order. I think this is the pre-order steelbook. The other two are also nice, but I think this is just as good, to be honest. So they did a promotional one and they did a collector's edition one, and then they did this one, the pre-order one. Next one is Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Quite plain, to be honest. I feel it is. There's also a lot of detail with the outfit and the armor and everything, but something about it just doesn't feel, you know, there's a lot of effort into it. Next one is Too Dark. It's alright. I like the artwork a lot. It's just dark and matte. But I think that looks cool. I mean, look at that disc. That's pretty nice. Next one is Deus Ex Mankind Divided. I think this is extremely nice. Shiny, bright colours, you know, everything a 2-year-old would like. But I think it looks really good. Really cool. Next one is Destiny, the first one. Kind of plain. And obviously, the smaller it is, the more plain it feels, in my opinion. But yeah, it's alright. Now I've got 2 Fallout 4 Steelbooks. One's the pre-order one, and I think one's just the Pip-Boy edition. I've got both. So I pre-ordered the Pip-Boy edition, and this is the one that came with it. But personally, I think the other Steelbook's actually better. I remember everyone thought this was going to be the season pass, and then it turns out it's just an advertisement for it. Next one is the other Fallout 4 one. So I think it looks better because there's just so much more detail in there. And it feels like you're looking at a Fallout 4 still, but the other one just doesn't. Let's give it postcards. I've already got these, so these are spares technically. Now the next one is a promotional Fallout 4 steelbook for Nuka World. That says number 6, which would suggest that every DLC got a steelbook to it, but from what I know, only this one and Far Harbor had a steelbook dedicated to it. But the Far Harbor steelbook I've only seen in Germany, and I can't find it for a good price, so I haven't got it yet. But because it is promotional, nothing on the inside, very plain. Next one is Gears of War 4 steelbook. Quite nice. Came with some stickers, which I haven't used, and I don't know if I ever will, because I don't know where I'd put them. If I put it on the Xbox, it would just melt. Next one is Halo the Master Chief Collection. I really like this one. This is probably my favourite G2. It's not the best by any stretch, but it is my favourite, I think. I don't have many G2s, as you can probably imagine. Next one is Lego Star Wars: Force Awakens. I really like this. It's a Lego game, but it is quite nice. Nice looking steelbook. Plain interior though. Still good though. And next one is Mirror's Edge Catalyst. This is actually surprisingly really, really nice. It doesn't feel matte, but it doesn't feel gloss either. It's like a good balance. I got the collector's edition of the game, but it specifically didn't come with the game. It's strange. This one's Quantum Break. I think that looks really good. I like the interior more than the exterior. Rainbow Six Siege. A game I haven't played yet, but I am desperate to play it at some point. I don't really have much time to dedicate to a new game at the moment. Next one is The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition. This also came out when it was remastered or retextured, or whatever they did to add some features to it. Comes with a paper map. Well, not paper, more like a card sort of. I don't know. It's the non-good quality version of the map. The paper version is much better. This is sort of like, I don't know. It's hard to describe it. It's just smooth. This is quite good though. And my last steelbook is Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. And I think this is really good. I got this with the collector's edition along with the action figure that came with it, the big doll, the Hans doll. Really sort of delicate, papery little advertisement that came with it. I've got the game, it's just not in the case at the moment. Yeah, so that's every steelbook I've got. I think it's something like just over 120, if not 120 itself. I've got more on the way. So I've got the Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare steelbook, which only came out on PC in Germany, I believe. That's where it's coming from anyway. So but you know, I've been meaning to make this video for a long time. It's just, you know, I keep saying to myself, there's no point because I'll get a new Steelbook soon, so I'll just wait till that comes. But then I've always got new Steelbooks coming, so I might as well just make it now and then update the video, or update, you know, my collection on YouTube every couple of maybe 6 months actually, or annually. But yeah, that's every Steelbook. If you want to know where I got any from or how much they cost, anything like that, just let me know and I'll get back to you, because I know how frustrating it is to want a Steelbook if you're a mad collector and you just can't find one. So yeah, just message me and I'll tell you.